Hello and a warm welcome back to the Wendercast with your hosts, me, Jimbo, and Calvinator, of course. We'll be discussing S2 of MFL updates, transfers, developments, and so much more that has gone on over the last week or so. But of course, before we kick things off, one important note. None of what we chat about on here is financial advice. Do your own scouting or hire our director of Metaverse Football. Calva, Season 1 is near enough over now, and we, ramp
pretty
our way.
much over when this airs.
It is,
yeah, it is over,
and we etch ever closer to Season 2. So we thought it's probably quite a good topic on today's episode to discuss how we can prepare ourselves for Season 2, because there's going to be some change with the engine, some things won't change, but there's going to be lots of different scenarios this season where people have been promoted, people have been relegated, and it's all going to be very new to us because we've not had this promotion relegation coming in. So that's what I want to talk about today.
No, definitely. First of all, happy birthday to all MFL players.
Oh, yes, of course.
Congrats.
Happy birthday to them.
Everyone is 1 year older, so happy birthday to them. And there's so much to talk about Season 2. Also for maybe people who joined throughout Season 1, it will be great to listen and maybe hear some nice tips or advice, or how do we prepare? What did we learn from Season 1? Enough to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? And and also about the timeline, and it's quite fast, right? We just ended Season 1.
Yeah, it's a fast-paced start to Season 2, isn't it?
Yeah, like 9 days when this airs, 9 days until Christmas and match 1. Like most football players IRL can have a nice Christmas and then Boxing Day, right? But
yeah, I don't know about other countries, but in England, you get Christmas. I don't know if you get, some of them might even get Christmas Day off, but it's also a congested fixture in MFL, but also in real life for some clubs as well. So, but I was thinking, you mentioned happy birthday to players. Then we're gonna be saying happy birthday to a different age group now. We've got the 29-year-olds coming into MFL who we've never seen before. We're going to get our first 29-year-olds. So
yes, the real
we thought 28 was granddad and grandpas, but we've got some even older grandpas now, which will be exciting. Only 3 years from potentially
I see already a hashtag MFL boomers.
Hashtag MFL boomers.
But that's not the hashtag, guys. Don't throw it in the chat already. We don't know yet. But yeah, there's enough to talk about. And first, maybe about streams. So we did a stream on Wednesday about we were streaming all the last games, right, of Season 1. It was pretty fun to watch, and the B-sellers called in like some kind of radio show from the road.
It was a really fun stream watching all the drama unfold for the final games of season. Like you just said, we had B-sellers, the manager of BFC Barcelona and one of the founders, or the founder of Ballers Dow came on. I think I really enjoyed that bit towards the end where we had him coming on and talking with us as well. And maybe for other watch-alongs, I think we should make that more frequent, where we have people from the community jump on for a bit of the stream and watch it with us, because it's actually really interesting to, you were watching your Magos de Madrid game, and we had one of the games up. We also had the Ballers one on my screen and another one on my other screen. And we're almost a bit like a, football focus. All the scores were coming in,
exactly.
And we were setting them out when we were updating on the position. He was driving along somewhere in the back end of Southeast America somewhere, middle of nowhere, he conned it.
No, it was really cool indeed, because it was all happening at the same time, and then it went his way in the end, right? It started off not so good, but then in the end for BFC Barcelona, it went their way and they got the third place. And yeah, it was really cool to see that unfold and talk about it. So yeah, definitely something we could do more.
Definitely.
And then the next stream is Wednesday.
Wednesday, baby, pack drop. Woo!
Pack drop.
First
quiz,
pack drop.
Of course, quiz, pack drop, first pack drop, Season 2.
Yep.
I guess we'll get a lot of people again. Everyone knows now it sells out quicker. Also, the new people who joined Season 1, they know it. So it's going to be a very busy pack drop, I think. And great fun to do it again, stream it.
Yeah, most definitely. So just a reminder for people who don't know when we start. 1 hour before the pack drop starts, we'll be live on our Twitch channel, the Wender Cast. Like you said, Calvert, quiz, rewards, exclamation mark raffles, all the good stuff. Watching people's packs on being opened on stream. It's gonna be a fun one. So I'm looking forward to it. But before we jump into weekly updates, one more thing as well. It's coming up to Christmas. The season of festivities and giving and presents and Santa Claus and all this sort of good stuff. And if you've been a long time listener of the Wender Cast, you know that we like to do sort of festival or seasonal Q&As. So expect this week, the week commencing the 16th of December, expect on our socials for us to be announcing a Christmas giveaway where we're going to be giving away really nice looking player. And to be in a chance, you've got to basically reply back with a question for a Christmas/New Year Q&A. So keep an eye on our socials for that, because that will be dropping at some point this week.
Yes, exactly. And we're looking forward to your questions and answering them. Well, next week we're going to answer them, but it will air in 2 weeks. So for the holiday, Christmas, New Year's Eve Q&A. So stay tuned for that. And now let's start with the episode. So later, much more about season 2. And now our usual updates. First, the moment of the week. So Jimbo, any moment of the week for you?
Right, this moment of the week could completely backfire, because my moment of the week is dictated by what happens in 2 hours' time, which is the Wyverns in their playoff round 3, which is the final match of the playoffs. So if we win that, we are officially a bronze club, which will be amazing to say. But we're not there yet. We still have to play the Blenders, Serbian Emperors MFC. But
Serbian Emperors.
On paper, we are the stronger side. We're the stronger side. And I said before on the pod that some of the lower divisions, that 9th place playoff match will be one of the easiest it'll probably be for a while, because of the weaker sided teams that were put into the pots before, when the leagues were created. So I really want to win this. So my moment of the week is kind of a, hopefully foreshadowing a victory for the Wyverns, that we make it through to bronze. When you're listening to this, you'll either know or not, because if we've got enough plaster all over my socials, basically, that we've become a bronze team.
But maybe your moment is also those playoffs. Like, not everyone gets to enjoy those playoffs, right? And it's quite a ride if you are part of those playoffs and you went through 2. You ended third, right? So you had like 2.
We ended third, yeah.
2 matches, and then now your final one, and you could.
I guess if we're saying an official moment of the week, it would have been that first matchup, which was against Riyadh City MFC of Aniki. And I went 1-0 down and I won 3-1. But up until the 55th minute, when it was still 1-0, I was shitting it, because I was thinking, I can't go out like this. I can't go out 1-0 in a playoffs. I can't. Not even scoring in a playoff game would have been disappointing. But we managed to turn it around 1-3-1 and then won the following game, which I'll get onto later.
Remontada.
But we made it through.
Yeah, and it's also just, it's not like a home game and an away game. It's just one game. And we know with MFL, with the engine, with upsets, even if you're the best team, right? It can go either way quite easily. Especially
I had to make sure my penalty takers were set.
Also important.
What about you, Calva?
I think my moment is it's becoming champion with my bronze club and winning promotion. So we were watching that on stream. It was a little bit. I was always jinxing it, my curse that I describe. I kind of anticipate some attack and then kind of it goes nowhere. But luckily they survived. They won 2-1. And against all odds, I think according to projections, they were 4th or 5th or 6th even. But that league was really crazy. Like, everyone's beating each other, and then in the end it was like between, I think, 1st and 5th was like 36 to like 30 points. Quite a low amount of points for a champion, 36.
Yeah.
But yeah, somehow I did it. Also in the 4-2-3-1. I know 4-2-3-1 was like, people said, it doesn't work this season.
Yeah.
But I also gained the title against stronger sides in the 4-2-3-1. So quite happy. And as I said before the pod, this used to be my worst team in terms of performance. They never did well, but apparently with this engine, it was all right. So yeah, really happy with that. Congrats, and later on, I also have another playoff, but I am the 9th spot team in gold that is facing a playoff, playing against Fantasy Gaffer's Turkish team. Constantine something.
Is that the one with the mosaic logo?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
how you feeling?
It's gonna
Nervous?
be tough. No, I did some testing. I did try some tactics. I changed it around a little bit. I feel like it should give me the best options, but yeah, you never know. Same like review, right? You never know. It can go either way. But yeah, in the end, because of this, I might end up with 3 silver clubs. That would be quite. I started like season 1 with gold, silver, bronze, and now maybe in season 2 I have 3 silver clubs.
Yeah.
So that will be interesting to balance that. Like what I'm gonna do. Am I gonna stack one, make it like the highest promotion chance, and then the B and C team will be the other silver teams, or that's gonna be interesting then if that's the result. But
we can ask you those questions
Fingers
later
crossed.
on, can't we?
Yeah. So when this airs, we both know whether you are in bronze and if I'm in silver or gold. So
exciting stuff.
Both a big battle. Then dev updates. Yeah. So yeah, season 1 is almost over. Not totally. When you hear it, it is over. And because of that, Lucas also designed a very cool new landing page for past and new champions. The champions
very
page.
Nice.
So Wensum is on there somewhere. So Cavalieros, my bronze team is on there somewhere. Also new trophies, really cool. So I also gained a championship title in the Ice League, and it's a really cool ice trophy. So
trophies are really nice.
Yeah, really
although
cool.
I kind of wish they had engraving again, but it would be nice to see that.
Get everything, but they look amazing. The team also prepared for rollover day, and there's a new cool thing that you can freeze contracts. So if you have no time, just maybe freeze it. A fair play update, so tiebreakers will be handled automatically. Very important for league rankings and this promotion relegation battle on the last day of the season, of course. Some new players have been minted for the Christmas promo packs. I can testify that there's some very nice players in those packs. If you've seen my tweet, probably. Then auto-renew reminder. So, of course, disable it. Well, now it's too late, probably. But for future, always check your auto-renew. What is the status? And some other little things. So, for the playoffs, the system has been improved. Engine Quentin keeps refining it for season 2. The stable version should be there next week, but you can keep trying the experimental version. Some other cool Christmas features are that the calendar is back. Jimbo, got anything from the calendar? Any good things?
My first day was 50 MFL, and then I think I have maybe 50 tickets. And then today I got Sunday, the stocking up badge. Just with a badge with the stockings in. Have you got anything?
Bigger, I got 250 MFL. Oh, the bigger. I think I got the Boxing Day tournament entry.
Oh, very nice.
So that seems very good. I don't know.
But
what
there's
the
Boxing Day, and then there's
like.
There's like capped ones as well. I think, isn't there?
Yeah, this is 850.
It's the same thing, is it? Oh, okay, yeah.
I think it's the same. Well, maybe there's more tournaments, but that seems very exciting. So yeah, those things you can all win in the advent calendar. So every day, make sure you log in, claim some rewards. And also some new pitches, Christmas pitch, some snow pitches.
Yeah, 2 different. One's an animated one, the very first animated pitch, which is quite cool.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. So Christmas is here. Then retirement is also getting closer. You just said there will be the first 29-year-olds, so there's 3 more MFL years to really get to retirement. But the energy decline mechanics are complete. And yeah, that is important because before 32, right? You should see some signs. So now that should be there. And finally, a bug fix before, if you update your club logo, it took quite a while sometimes for it to update in your HQ and just in the app. But now it should be quite fast. This update should be done properly. So any other takeaways from the dev updates? What else? Not so much.
I think it's just
I don't think there's any huge.
I think it's a bog standard dev update. It's obviously nice to have every Friday, but it's sort of just like a bit of a recap of what they've done over the week. The fair play update's kind of cool. That happens automatically. Not
Yeah, it should be done. Like
waiting
we had this problem before, right, with our alliance
for
tournament.
like 20, 25 minutes to see if it was like a red,
Yeah,
the
so
red card that did us in. But
and especially with relegation, yeah, you don't want to see your team after it says like 22 and then place 8 and then suddenly 9.
Yeah.
Because of this fair play. So that is it's a tiny one, but super essential. So very good it is. Diamond update time then. So the final one of season 1, we have our champion, Meta Mercenaries.
Congratulations,
Ronan,
Meta.
for the first title. Of course, not his first title in general, but in the official season 1. Congrats to Ronan. Then Joe B ended second, 46. BFC Barcelona, we just talked about it, final game day. They claimed third place, very nice. Bistone fourth, my Magos fifth, also a bit lucky with that. I lost the last 3 games, but Londinium also lost to K Socios on the last day, I think. So thank you, K Socios. Then Tango, Samba, Basel is going to the playoffs. They ended 9th and they will play BFC Manchester later. So will there be a second Ballers team?
Huge game. Second Ballers team in Diamond would be massive for them. Massive.
Yeah, well then of course they need to have different coaches. But there's also some maybe ethical questions to ask about that. But yeah, that's against Basel. So they ended 9th, and then 3 teams got relegated straight to Plat. So Parque Ibirapuera, Berlin, and K Socios. And some quick stats for players. So Saavedra from Tango got the Golden Boot with an impressive 28 goals. So more than 1 goal per match. Nakamura from OM Legends got the most assists. And the best goalie Golden Glove is Lucif from BFC Barcelona. And I'm very happy that for my team, from the Magos, Ba ended second with his 99 shooting in goals. And Heredia, the amazing left back from Sturge, 95 rated, had 14 assists, so ended second there. And another little final thing is that the Titans Cup final was won by Biccione Milano 2-0 against OM Legends. So I saw a tweet from Joe B that he is this is a cycling reference, the Pulidor of MFL by ending second twice. Because this guy always ended second in Tour de France for people who don't know. And he had second Diamond League, second in the Cup. So that's a bit painful, but still very impressive. I mean, also to have 2 second places. Yeah. Any thoughts? What were your predictions again? Well, you had a whole, was it Samba story?
Oh yeah, Paul mentioned on the stream. I had a whole prediction for who I thought would creep into that, playoff relegation spot, and I thought it would probably be Samba. I think I said Samba or Basel would creep into it. Let me look at my notes. Yeah, Samba or Basel, I said, would creep into it. I think I said Samba would. And then on literally an hour after we recorded last Sunday, they went and beat I think they maybe beat OM Legends.
Yeah, I think OM Legends, yeah.
And I went, that's my prediction straight out the window then. Before the podcast has even aired, I'm wrong. And I was like, just keep it in, lad. Keep it in. It's funny. But it's going to be really interesting to see and talk about the Diamond League with potentially 4 new teams in it that we've never spoken about before in this division. We've, for the last year and a half, we've only spoken about these, apart from Magos Madrid, these 11 sides, we'll call it. And now we're going to get potentially 4 new ones come in. But I also want to give a massive shout out to Ronan. Not only did he win, he won it with only losing 1 game as well, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
To only lose 1 game, over 22 matches is some achievement.
No, very dominant and massive gap. Also 12 points to BFC Barcelona. So really, those 2 teams, OM Legends, Meta Mercenaries, really dominated, you can say. And I think OM Legends even had a bad start, and somehow he fixed it after that, and that really started going. But what you just said about the promoted teams. So the new teams are going to be Joga Bonito from Sturge, and that's a very good team. For Ryan's MFC Kinshu and Naples Gold Feathers Herta. So also 3 new faces in Diamond, 3 new managers, 3 new teams. And then maybe BFC Manchester or Basel will save his Diamond spot. So will be super interesting. That's really the fun thing, right? Promotion, you got 3 new teams, 3 new managers.
Yeah.
And especially Sturge being so passionate, he really and like vocal. It's really fun that he's in there.
Yeah, he'll be chomping at the bit to get into the diamond matches. I know. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. And also, yeah, the other teams, really curious to see what's going to happen with them. Yeah, and about Magos, the word, we still don't know what's going to happen to the team, but we are planning on next week, maybe talk a bit about season 1, and then hopefully we know for season 2, talk about the announcement which is going to come this week. That's, we know for sure. They will announce it, so we can then talk about it next week. Whether maybe even there's a new manager we can interview. Well, I don't know. Let's see. Or a new assistant manager.
Okay. Interesting. Well,
yeah. I know a little bit more
during the week. Okay.
Nothing is official, but let's talk about it next week for sure.
We can grill him next week on the podcast.
and a little teaser. Then I also want to react to the whole controversy that was the whole diamond chat.
There was a big.
I've been very quiet, but I will speak out then next week. So
give him a voice. We'll give him a platform next week, folks.
Little teaser. Stay tuned. Let's move on to market moves. Some new managers again, more than 10. So that's great to see. That's even without some kind of crazy big marketing push. There's still some nice organic growth. So Croque Monsieur sent Archon J Ashoka to a Mode Grass area. Interesting name. Benny Liquid, Bestika 92, Billy Bremner, Franco Zappolla, Aber 1903, Rich Anion, and Krush Patel. And the new user of the week, I put Billy Bremner because he started buying rares already, just joined MFL, so I like that ambition. Then other market moves, I put Greco ISU. He bought a lot of uncommons. He's also pretty active in general, on stream, I think also on Twitter. Yeah. So that's he's really stepping it up. And I also wrote down Lamb Web3, that he bought some players, and I think it's great. Like, he's been very quiet on Twitter, very quiet in general, but still his teams are doing pretty well and getting promoted, and he's still buying players. He's just taking it a bit easier with social media. Maybe that's that's good, but he is still there, guys. He didn't leave. He's still active. He's buying players. So hopefully soon he will get active again with those team accounts on Twitter. Then rare players. I saw a very nice transfer of a Polish. Yeah, I wanted to ask you to pronounce it, but I'll do it. Cezar Novacic, 83 rated, 20-year-old CM. Something balling bought it from Palmer for 280. Pretty nice one. And then an even better rare transfer, 84 rated, left mid, 19-year-old, was bought by Niako for 375 USD. I think that's quite a steal, knowing that he will turn into legendary soon, still 19-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Jimbo, you also sold the Matos.
Yeah, I
had to ask you about it. I saw one of your best rares was sold. So.
Yeah, I packed him probably about over a year ago, and I had him in the Wyverns for ages, and I loaned him out this season, and I thought he's sort of in a position where he's still quite young. I think he'll be turning 21 soon. He'll be turning 21, his big birthday. Be turning 21, and I sort of just stuck him up there really to see if he would sell. I had no intention of, I guess there obviously was intention to sell him because I listed him in the first place. But if he didn't sell, I'd use him again and loan him out. If he sold, he sold. You know, had him on a 1 year deal with Trust the Process side. And then in the Soho Ramble Discord, McBride Ace just added me and said, like, cheers, Jimbo. I was like, okay, fair enough. Thank you very much. Thank you for the sale. So I will keep close eye on him because he's a player close to my MFL heart because of what he's done for the Wyverns. And so even, I think one of my fondest memories is him scoring a screamer against you in a match in like season 0.4 or something along those lines.
Good memories.
To win the game 3-2, and then we beat you in the league by 2 points. So it was a league defining goal. But yeah, I didn't see myself being in your list, so it's nice to be included for once.
Yeah, no, I thought this transfer really to add. But yeah, I think more and more people do this. They put some feelers out, right? You put like kind of a guy, say, okay, if someone pays this price, they can go.
Yeah.
And then this, especially in the past week or two, they just started selling.
Yeah, it's been quite.
They
hot
also
market
put some
recently.
like 18-year-olds common like 60 commons, and they started selling for 20 USD. So yeah, that's okay then if they sell. So, but let's see what the market does after the drop, after the rewards.
Yeah.
Legendary players. Well, there was some like ballers transfers for like 27 cents. I don't know, 89 cents a mid. It got sold. And Müller, 91 rated for 53 USD. I wonder why it has to be like 53 cents. Why then just not 1 cent? But
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
It's. I feel poor Ali Coleman and poor MFL player info.
Oh yeah.
That the whole price of Legos is now going to collapse again. But yeah, it was interesting to see. And about clubs, there wasn't two interesting clubs I wanted to talk about. So Philadelphia, Ice Club Philadelphia, sold for 150 USD to Dolorut. So obviously he's probably from there. It's one of like his hometown club. So he's willing to pay that price. And a premium for US clubs. But then Manchester Ice sold for only 70 USD to Weedy. I'm like,
mad.
Shouldn't Manchester have a premium? Or
that's just you just said it. It's the American location premium that people are willing to pay.
No, although Manchester doesn't have two great clubs anymore, so maybe that's why it lost value. 70 USD could be. Okay, over to you.
Splash of the week. I think this is the first time I've had to pronounce a Georgian before, so I'm kind of bricking it slightly because I've been practicing in my head for the last couple of minutes while Cal has been talking. Then when it comes to it, I usually butcher it straight away, but I think it's pronounced Parta Biraya. That's something.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. That's a success in my eyes. If you're saying that, it's a success. So yeah, Parta Biraya, 88 rated player, sold for 950 US smackaroons. B sellers picking him up from Morabiaz, age 19. He's a right winger, but can play on the left wing as well. Obviously Georgian, 88 rated. Here's some of his stats for you: 88 pace, 89 shooting, 82 passing, 91 dribbling, 66 physical. Could be a little bit higher. And like I always say, for those concerned or wanting to know, his defending is a low and tidy 44. So, nice little splash. Some nice splashes.
Very nice splash. And I think it is extra smart. And I'll tell you why. Because this guy didn't play in season 1. I think I saw him as scouting as one of the unsigned players. And he was unsigned, I don't know why, for the whole season 1. So he didn't get any XP yet. So I think there could be a very quick +1, +2 jump with this dude. And we'd have no indication yet about potential.
Do you not think, to flip that around, do you not think it's a risk though? That you've like
not
had a season of progression? Or
we
don't know enough. We don't know enough, but you know.
No, but for sure, I think most of your guys go up at least 1 or 2, right? And this guy didn't even go up, didn't get any XP, so I think there's quite a big chance there will be at least a +1.
But he may have missed out on the higher overall players getting a little bit of a potential buff before it was patched. That they were progressing too quick, so maybe they might have missed out on something. But yes, I agree. We're excited to see how he progresses, and we don't really know what the potential percentages are for younger players yet. We sort of know, what is it, like 40% of players, 50% of players go up by like 1 or 2 overall. That's for like that's for like a 24-year-old player. Like that's not for like the average player, but an 18, 19-year-old isn't an average player. That's a stupidly young player. Yeah, we don't know what they're like chance, yet.
So I think it's a good buy. Although for Legos it's hard to progress, etc. But I think looking at age and looking that he was kind of on holiday for whole season 1, I think it's pretty
good splash.
Smart, good splash indeed. And then finally our IRL MFL there was some Premier League. I looked at our previous episodes, and I always end up talking about Dutch league. You always end up talking about Premier League, but we can keep continuing that. And I was also I wanted to check it because I thought I already talked about this guy, but I'm not sure if I
don't think you have before. I don't think you spoke about it. Who is it you want to speak about, Calva?
Feyenoord's right winger, Anis Haj Moussa from Algeria, 22-year-old guy. But he has a very, comparing to MFL player, he has very high potential, apparently, and super fast progression. Because about a year ago, he was still playing in the Belgian second division. Then he went to Vitesse for half a year. Feyenoord saw he's very good at dribbling, this guy. Picked him up. Then at Feyenoord, they were like, yeah, he probably needs 1 season to adjust and to this new level. But right now, he's shining in the Champions League. Manchester City, he gave already assists. He also scored a great goal in the Champions League, so he's really becoming one of their key players already. So super fast progression. In MFL, you would see some nice green pluses everywhere for his stats. So that's my connection IRL MFL.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm going to just go back to Premier League again because this season is just absolutely mental right now in terms of big teams just dropping points for week in, week out. We've just had Man City, who were 1-0 up until the 88th minute, go lose 2-1 to Man U. So all the Man U fans out there buzzing. You've then got Liverpool, who dropped points at home to Fulham 2-2, and Fulham look like a tidy prospect. They have done for most of the season, but to go away to Anfield, and even after the red card for Liverpool, and obviously you'd expect Fulham to play well and Liverpool to still be at it. Fulham kind of, I know they conceded, but they still look really good. You've got Chelsea, who are currently 1-0 up against Brentford, who, at the time of recording, are live standing in the table. They're only 2 points behind Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool have a game in hand, but Arsenal dropping points at home to Everton. I transferred out Pickford in my fantasy. Gets clean sheet and I think probably max bonus as well, or some bonus points. I was like, what the hell's going on? Who would have thought Arsenal would not score at home? Then you've got, Forest are 4th now. Man City are 5th. And then even
That's
after
crazy.
all this, you've got Man U, who are still 13th in the league. They're bottom half the table. And Tottenham are currently winning 4-0 in 40 minutes against Southampton. It's just going crazy. It's going to be an exciting Premier League this year. And the Christmas period is when it gets really, really juicy because there's 3 games in 6 days. It's bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Cannot wait for it.
Nice. Yeah, so actually the MFL engine is pretty realistic, right? Everyone can beat anyone. It's all over the place. Some teams, like a City, technically having, you could say, the best players, best squad, having this crazy losing.
Yeah, a fully fit team on paper. Look on paper, probably the strongest.
Yeah, on paper, yeah, exactly. But to lose, how much did they lose? 8 times in 10 games or 7 times in 10 games. It's just nuts for such a team.
They've won 1 out of their last 10 games.
Yeah.
Which is horrendous.
Yeah, so then let's say this happens to you in MFL with a Meta Mercenaries. You're if Meta Mercenaries is the Manchester City of MFL, you could say that comparison. And then suddenly they lose 7 games in 10 games.
And are we going to start
Ronan would say the engine is better.
Are we going to? Would we start singing "You Getting Sacked in the Morning" on the podcast to all the diamond managers who do that? That's the thing though, and that's what I'm interested about the ballers.
Henki's out feature.
Henki's out. I remember I asked B Celitis on the Ballers DAO episode about you've got obviously you recruit people within the DAO to manage the teams. If they're performing badly midway through the season, what happens can you kick them out if they're doing badly? Do you need someone to come in and recover it? Or are you just going to let the sink continue to ship? Because we see a lot of Premier League teams, a lot of football teams, they should sack a manager and they give it one more game, they lose it, and then they sack them. And it's well, why don't you sack him before the game? Why do it now? It's so
just
stupid.
Pure opportunism,
Carnage.
A credit to Man United that they just let Ten Hag stay so long. I think you should give it, but then
credit for being stupid.
Well, I hate this. Like, also now Juventus is not doing well. Like, and then this got Motta. Like, give him 2 years. Work on this project.
I mean, Ten
Give
Hag
him
was
time.
given 2 seasons.
Yeah, exactly. He was given.
Yeah.
But that's credit for them. Like, it would have been dumb to just get rid of him after 1 year.
And now Amarin's probably.
And now
need,
after
like,
2 years,
seasons.
like, okay, you're really shit. Like, okay, get rid of it. Okay, good. Yeah, and now Amarim, let's see what he does. Well, if he beats City, then suddenly he's a hero, although it's in the like dying minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how football works.
Exactly.
That's how it goes. Okay, season 2 talk. So we thought we'll just go over the dates a little bit to refresh that for everyone, and maybe that also will help you prepare. Our lessons from season 1. We'll also talk about that, some preparation in general, and maybe also focus, like, if you just got promoted, what should you change? If you just got relegated, what should you do? Transfer, scouting market, engines, progression, like, we'll talk about those things, all in the context of season 2. So what are the most important dates for season 2? So obviously when you hear this, it's rollover day.
Rollover day, baby.
On the Tuesday, 17th, transfer window and registration starts. And then, of course, the drop is the 18th with our stream. Then it's kind of a quiet period for building. So what we're going to talk about, squad building, testing, etc. And then Christmas Day, first training. I think everyone's looking forward to this, like seeing those juicy +1s everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And match day 1. So Christmas Day training and match day 1. Cups, first cup matches start on the 30th, just before 2025. And what another important moment is, this continues until January 8th, where you have the mid-season transfer window and another drop. And then the last match day is on January 22nd, with playoffs in the weekend of 25th, 26th, and also 24th. So it's kind of covering the whole month of January pretty much, and the end of December.
Yeah, you said earlier, and I agree with you, I can't call it the rollover period because there's a dedicated name for that. We've got the rollover day.
The rollover day, yeah.
But the transition, we'll call it, between matches finishing to matches starting again does seem pretty quick. But I guess maybe that feels bigger than it actually is, because we had such a large break between the breakaway and season 1, because there was a bigger run up as we geared up to season 1.
Yeah, no, it's like a fine line to walk, right? Because on the one hand, for things like squad building and testing, ideally you have a bit more time, right?
Yeah.
But then also people are like, you're missing the actual game, the gameplay, also the training. A lot of people, especially if you're an agent, for you, training and progression are super important. So can you really wait that long? Can you really wait that long for all those things to be absent?
Yeah.
Plus, for new people, maybe people joined the season 1 and they couldn't register for the proper league and the proper cup. Would you let them wait another couple of weeks? So with those things into consideration, it makes sense. Although what is special right now is just that it's the holidays, right? It's Christmas. It's not everyone is super busy, has a lot of time. I think we were joking before that maybe it's perfect because you can show it to your cousin and your nephew and your uncle.
Joked, didn't we?
And maybe for that it's perfect. But maybe you want to take it one exception for this period to take it a bit easier.
Yeah, I think when we initially saw the calendar, seeing Christmas Day as the first day of matches was a bit rogue. I think that's quite an intense day, and obviously not everyone celebrates it the same way across the world, or some people might celebrate with friends and family, some might not, some are really busy, some are really free. But I think maybe like the 27th probably would have been, for me anyway, would have been a better day. But Christmas Day is when things kick off, and you essentially got 13 days of non-stop matches until that second pack drop and the mid-season transfer window on the 8th. So it's a lot of matches coming in thick and fast, and it is over a week away as yet, but that will come round stupidly quickly. very quickly. So yeah, there's some of the important dates that you need to be aware of for season 2.
Yeah, exactly. So also, setting all those lineups and can you find the time? So it's gonna be intense, but also fun, definitely, and good to start playing again. So it has its ups and downs. The calendar. Okay, lessons from season 1. What would you say, Jimbo, is a lesson?
I think maybe a lesson. No, I'm going to talk about tanky one first. So this is kind of a lesson from season 1, but it's kind of not. Maybe something to be looked at by MFL, or maybe I want to get everyone else's opinion on this. Is I'm going to just say how it is. The idea of tanking playoffs. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it essentially means you're in the playoffs, you don't want to get promoted, so you just lose on purpose. Or lose, or set up your team out there to lose so there's the high chance of losing. And that happened to me. And I've got no issues with people doing that, but I feel like it's against the spirit of the game to do that, but you're incentivized to maybe do that if you don't think you'll perform well in the playoffs. You've done all that hard work and got up to 2nd or 3rd place, but you actually think to yourself, well, actually, I might not perform very well in the division above, but if I just lose it on purpose, I'm going to earn more rewards. I guess the spin-off is you may have a better conditions for player progression in the league above, but if you're performing badly, is the match rating going to hinder their development slightly? Are they going to progress slightly less? Are you going to get relegated? Do you want to go through that? So I'm interested to maybe hear your take on that, Calva, about, do you think rewards should maybe be adjusted somewhat for the lower positions? How is it something that can be fixed? Is it because it seems a bit, you go all that way to get promoted, to try and get promoted, and then want to go through the playoffs, then you go, nah, I don't fancy it. Seems a bit anti-sportsman-like, against the spirit of the game.
Yeah, that's how it feels like. It's weird. Like you would say, promotion is a huge prize, and you want to get promoted. So yeah, maybe a bit of a different reward structure can incentivize that. It does make sense that the Iron teams get like kind of a big boost in rewards to also help them then prepare for the higher league. And that like the bottom 3-4 get like a lower, and because they also get relegated, so that's more like let's say bronze iron. That's like what we're talking about with you, right? That makes kind of sense, but I think right now it's often like 4th, 5th bronze is like what you need to get almost to get better than that iron.
So just to maybe put some figures on the table here to explain this better. If you finish 10th in bronze, you end up getting 7,500. That's if you own everything, right? 7,500. That's the equivalent of finishing 5.5 between 5 and 6th of an iron league. So, if you can, in this case, the person I played against would have finished 2nd and would have taken home 15,500 compared to 7,500. They think, well, if I can't do well, I'm going to earn half the rewards. And I think maybe in some senses this might be a bit of not an unpopular opinion, but a bit of a wild thought, is that with how competitive Stone and Ice is going to be, for player progression, you might even be better staying in Iron because all the good teams are going to come up, and as everything starts to rebalance itself, you might not actually be impacted much, might actually not be impacting player progression much by staying in Iron. So, I mean, I'll be able to give my thoughts on this in 4 weeks' time when Wyverns has been flat relegated out of bronze, and I'm here saying, you know what, I shouldn't have been promoted. But I feel like it didn't feel right going into my playoff game and then winning 7-0. Doesn't feel very playoff competitive like.
No.
But I think there's nothing to do with the manager who did that, because they're thinking about the reward pool. I think they've probably done the right, and people have been debating it as well. I'm pretty sure it's not the first person who's done it. I mean, if I was if Wyverns weren't strong, I probably would have considered doing it. So,
But yeah, you can also see
an
it
interesting one.
as a cushion, right? If you relegate. So now let's look at my situation. One of my lessons was really don't underestimate this relegation. I heard from multiple people, they thought they were gonna be okay, gonna be safe. And then with like some unfortunate matches, for me, I also started to panic a bit, like changing my tactic too much. You should never do it. But I kind of started to panic mode when I started dropping to like 7, 8. Never good to do. So one is just stay the course, be consistent. Don't stop panicking. What we always say, I kind of broke the rule of my gold club, and now I'm in a playoff for 9 spots. So that's my lesson. Don't underestimate it. Like before you know it, you might end up in that danger zone, and then don't start panicking. But yeah, we just talked about like would it be bad if you relegate? But knowing that those top silver rewards are also very nice, it's kind of a cushion in that way for a relegated side. So you can, there's like arguments to be made for both sides. Like what is good? So for a relegation team, maybe it's now a bit better, and then for promotion team, you take a big gamble. Like, are you gonna attack those first 5, 6 places straight away? That's gonna be tough. But because relegation is so easy, I would always go for the promotion to just be safe. Like, okay, then play in bronze, see how it goes, and maybe you can learn some better players. Maybe that can pay off. You want to see growth, right? You want to develop as a club, and that's one way to develop.
Yeah, but I think it's an interesting one to maybe. I know people have talked about it in the Discord before. Maybe another one to bring up again, but it was definitely one of the things that got talked about when reward structure was first released. Was hang on, may not be as big of an incentive as possible to get promoted, and especially if strength creep becomes a thing where as further divisions we go down, the stronger they get. The player progression, what's the word? Argument.
Talent gap.
The talent gap and the player progression argument has less of an influence in that decision because everything's going to become so competitive at some point.
Yeah,
but interesting. I'll be able to let my
thoughts. It would be good if we can hear some more arguments and have a bit of an open debate and weigh both sides a bit better.
Well, if I get promoted tonight and then I do badly or do well, then I can tell you firsthand how that feels like. But put it this way, though. But if I don't get promoted, yes, I got so close. But then again, I'm thinking to myself, well, if I can get top 4 again, I'm probably going to earn more rewards than I would have done last in bronze anyway. So it's kind of a win-win.
Yeah, you always have some kind of consolation. Or
I get to experience bronze, but I probably earn more if I don't make it.
Yeah, same for me. Like, maybe now I go out of gold, but then at least I could get more rewards. Plus, maybe they can become champion, and that's also like fun and glorious and fighting for the title. So, yeah. Okay, let's move on to preparation. Yeah, so how to prepare for this season. In general, I think it's a bit similar to prepare for season 1. Or do you think people will prepare or should prepare in a different way?
I think it's maybe different for what scenario you're going into season 2 as. For example, if you're a promoted side, your preparation probably looks different to if you've just been relegated or just stayed in the division. By that I mean, if you're promoted, I guess you've got a couple of avenues. You're 1, looking to not get relegated, or 2, looking to get promoted again. You know, SR Monkey we had on here last week, he built his team in ice to get promoted twice, or to get promoted again next season, and probably even the season after that to go through Iron. Some people will be looking to strengthen, upgrade, invest in better players and get in and go up the divisions more. But for example, my preparation, if I get promoted, or even if I don't get promoted, but if I get promoted, I don't think I'm going to try and strengthen my squad. I think my squad might be able to hold itself out, but I want to let player progression do its bit first. I want to see where can I go to without upgrading first. But then if you're a relegated side, it's also the same same debate you've got to ask yourself, same question you ask yourself. Do you just leave the team as it is and hope it gets promoted or stays? Do you gut the team? That's a question I wanted to ask you. If you get another league and another team in silver, do you, like you said, do you reconstruct all of them, or do you make them all decent? Do you let one continue to spiral down? Maybe what would you do?
Yeah, this is a good question. Like, yeah, if you now have to, because of promotion relegation, you have two teams in the same division. I think for me, I will still treat Casablanca as like it is actually a gold club. They're temporary at silver then, but I would still then treat them as a gold club with that status, kind of. That's okay, and I will still give them the best players. Probably keep roughly the same squad. You could argue that okay, maybe then you loan out some of your better guys to gold and still get more ref share. But I think most people go down the avenue like, no, I should go back up quickly. I'm actually a gold club. Or I'm actually an iron club, and I should go quickly back up. It wasn't like an incident. So I think I'll largely keep similar squads then. And then try to maybe strengthen that new silver club Cavieiros as much as possible, but keep Black Sea as the primer like silver club, and Casablanca as the gold club, and then not change too much, I think, with their squads. Of course, now we have also rewards coming in. You can buy quite more also, right? You can buy more now with your rewards. So what I'm gonna do is then buy as much rare packs as possible, rare players, and put them, like depending on how good they are in the fake gold, the silver, and the new silver. Club.
Well, fool's gold. It looks like gold, but it's actually like silver. It's not.
It's actually gold. It's actually gold.
Fool's gold.
Yeah, I think most people are gonna have this approach. Like you can really make those rational arguments, like for progression or for getting the maximum amount of MFL. It's smarter to send them away or loan them out or get them off your squad, but. Yeah, sport is not super rational often, so it's more emotional. It's like, I deserve to be there. I'm going to stack it. I'm going to make it better. Sacrifice some progression. Sacrifice some MFL. And go for it.
And then I think the other group we've got of people is new users. So people who have bought the Christmas promo pack, for example, got themselves an ice club, or they picked a club off the marketplace. How can they prepare for their first season in MFL? And I want to talk maybe from an ice perspective, because I imagine the majority of new users will come in from an ice division because of the promos and the lowest entry price point. And I've had a couple of people message me over the last couple of days, Calva, who are looking to get into the game, want to know sort of what's a competitive side look like in ice. And I want to get your opinion on this as well. So the common answer I've gone back with and looked through some of the the iron and ice, the ice squads, and it seems to be like sort of a competitive, and by competitive I mean sort of top 5, top 4. You want to push for promotion. You may not reach it, but you're a classic football saying, there and thereabouts. It seems to be like a team set up with between sort of like 65 and above. Like it's maybe like 64 to 67 seems to be like a nice competitive ice lineup. That seems to be. I don't know if you've seen or found similar or have a similar opinion on that.
Well, yeah, I won the league in ice with average of 68, I think. 68, 67, something like that in that ballpark. So yeah, you ideally are looking for that if you want to promote. But yeah, how do you get that squad then? So I think in a lot of new users, their primary worry. So for me, it's like, how do I juggle all those clubs and players, and what can I move around? For them, it's just getting players in the first place, and getting the best possible players. And what I would say to them is reach out to people, well, like me, with like a lot of players, a lot of talents, especially in this 60 to 66, 7 range that I cannot use in my own clubs. But I have quite some young players there that should play and should be superstars. So I would really love them to be superstars and ice, maybe in one of those teams fighting for promotion in ice. And I think you can really also get low ref shares. So I today I signed some contracts with like a 1% plus 5 15 matches clause. Yes. I just want to incentivize people to play them. So,
no, I agree.
yeah,
That's what I was doing last season as well. Yeah.
So I think, well, for me it works. Maybe for other people too, or maybe a 2+6 or whatever. Just have some kind of super low ref share. I mean, this guy was like 62, so it was not like one of those 66, 67. But you just want to have a very low basic ref share plus quite a big clause to make sure they play. Please take all my young guys. I just treat it as like an academy development center. Kind of club. Take them all. You can have a super low ref share as long as you play them. And then this will help you to fight promotion. I think it's win-win for everyone.
Yeah.
So then as a new user, do your networking on Discord, reach out to bigger guys and have some kind of partnership going on with like getting 5, 6, 7 guys from one agent.
Most people who own quite a lot of players are on Discord and you can contact them with. I also think if you're looking for, say, uncommon players or common players or rare players, don't know who to go to the leaderboard and you can filter it and sort it via which agent owns the most uncommon players and owns the most rare players. So you can almost target who you want to go to. So you can pick, let's just go on there and just go for an example right now. We go to the leaderboards and we want to look at who owns the most uncommon players. Oh, it's Make Think. He owns 303 of them. Get in contact and maybe look at some of his and go, do you know what? I'd love to have some of these on loan. You may get told no, you may get told yes. If you get told yes, then phenomenal. If you get told no, he might say, well, a couple of seasons time, I could probably sort you out with something. But I guess the next point we want to talk about is the transfer market and scouting market and expectations with that. And I guess sort of maybe that connects with this whole new user ice piece because that's a fantastic place to go and look for new players. But would you agree? Go on.
No, especially talking about new players and just go to scouting when the transfer window just opens. There's quite some people who still have all those nice auto accept contracts open or they forgot to cancel them. Or some people are just, I think that's, maybe I'll also do it like just the easy way, just put a ton of guys for auto accept. So I think early bird, I think that was our hashtag before, right? Early bird. So
yeah,
be early with that. Be early with going to transfer market on Tuesday when it just opens. Get some good auto accept that will help you a lot. And also with then like buying maybe some players for your teams or signing them. Just wait also for people to spend their rewards going to the store. There will be a bigger supply, which means prices should drop, but also they all need to play in some team. So I think ref share should also then, with the law of like economic law, right, should drop ref shares because they still need to play somewhere.
Yeah.
And there will be way more uncommon players, way more rare players. So then for ice, I guess it should be easier to get some uncommons.
Yeah.
I reckon.
I want to get your take on that because we'll have a new supply of players coming into we'll call it the market, the ecosystem, because of the pack drop, but also because of the reward pack redemptions, which will, aside from the Euros tournament we did 6 months ago, will probably be the biggest redemption session window that will ever have happened.
Yeah.
Because of more rewards, more users. I think maybe prices might drop a little bit, but if the demand is still there, it could still keep how it is. And I know a couple of users have said, the scouting page at some point is quite dry at the moment because we're waiting for that new supply to kick in. But depending on how many new users, new teams there are, that could get swept up and contracted up quite quickly. So I think it's definitely going back to what you just said. Early bird. I think you've got to get the best deals, you've got to get in there early. Because I've got a feeling some of the good players that you want will be snapped up quickly. Which is going to be tough if you've not sorted things
Well,
out.
and something we didn't talk about is to be even earlier, although when you listen to it, it's probably too late. This is pre-season contracts. I also signed some of those already.
Yeah,
So
you
you
got
could
those
have
as
been
well.
really early. Most I get in my inbox normally I don't really consider or think they're not good enough. But yeah, again, then talk to people on Discord and just sign those pre-season contracts. That helps a lot.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of, I saw Palmer was debating, got a bit of debate in the Discord today about that with regards to, I'm just going to put it how Frank, how it was discussed, like the usefulness. Because if you can sign a pre-season contract, you don't know what the team looks like. So you could just, is it a bit, I know people who don't have much time, it's a good thing to do and get things sorted out early if the trust is still there. But you could sign a contract now, and then when that team plays its first match, it's a pretty crap team. And then you're like, whoopsie, I'm in a bit of a muddle here. But also, with how dry the market is at the moment, some people are saying, I think most people probably do their contracts. I think people are waiting for this new pack drops to happen to get those new players, I think. I've not done any pre-season contracts, but I don't actually have many players to do it with anyway who are going on loan anywhere. But have you been bombarded with messages? Had quite a few? Or?
No, not bombarded. It's more like, I think 20 or something, not too much. What was really, I mean, from last time, that was really crazy when it opened. And then I was like at work the whole day, and then I came back, and then I like 100 or something. That was really nuts. But with the preseason, it was not too bad. Although this transfer window will also be different. You know, the last one was like totally blank page for everyone, right? So there was so many contracts signed and possibilities. Now some teams are pretty solid already. They're not changing too much in terms of roster. This will also be a little bit different compared to season 1.
Yeah,
New supply, let's see.
So you said you're probably going to get some rare players with the packs. Is that all you're going to do with? Have you calculated how much MFL you're going to be earning? Because I've calculated I might be. Hopefully, I just scrape into it, pulling in 30,000 MFL with 2 clubs, which I think is huge. A big part of that is because the Wyverns got third, and they got through to the knockouts of the cup. And that proves how valuable just getting through to the knockout stage can be to earn an extra couple thousand MFL. But also, Big Wilbert with Alps MFC, semi-finals in the cup, first in bronze. I think I'm bringing home 4,800 MFL from one player, which for a guy like me, who, you know, that's half an uncommon player from one player, who's only going to get better because he's now going to turn 17, which is actually so sad to think about. He's been 16 for 2.5 years. Maybe he lives on a planet where there's just longer years, be like Mars or whatever it is. No, Mars. No, the other direction. We're going to go. Piss. Just go Jupiter. Big enough planet. I lost my solar system in knowledge for a second there.
No worries.
But I'm probably gonna do 2 uncommon and bank 10,000 and keep it. That's my plan, I think. Okay. And some people might, do I save for a rare? I'd rather get a couple of uncommons and then progress them. That's my opinion.
Well, now I'm gonna flex. Are you ready for flexing?
Of course, you got the bloody diamond one as well, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah, and we also got through to the knockout stages, and that was another 150k, and my finish was 350, which is 500. But I get 1/3 of that, so that is
1/3.
167. Wow. So plus the regular club, so I think I could definitely get 4 rare packs. Maybe
decent.
5. So, and I'm gonna just go 5 rare, 4 rare, 5 rare.
Any consideration for a rare pack, or just single player pack?
That's a good option. Like, could I get a pack, or just single player? Yeah, that is. That one I didn't think of yet, but definitely in terms of the uncommon, like 5 uncommons or 1 rare discussion, I really already have enough uncommon, and now I have a new silver team that needs to be much better. So I'm just gonna go for 5 rares, and then I feel now lucky, right, after that Christmas pack. But
that
maybe I used up
Magos
all my luck.
managerial, it definitely allows you to have a little bit of fun and a bit of freedom with your interim position as Diamond allow you to fund your your other clubs, which is quite a nice position to be in.
Yeah, that really helped a lot, especially that elimination round. Over the knockoff round, I was not banking on that. Plus that high finish, I was not banking on that. And because I fulfilled a lot of clauses, the share went down to 68, 67. So pretty happy with that. Yeah, no, I can't complain. That's huge amount.
Definitely throws my little measly 30k, but I'll take three uncommons a season. I'd happily take that every season if I could hit that. three uncommons a season.
No, that's great. That's and then potential, maybe they're young, 73, 74. That's huge reinforcement for your teams too.
I like to think that when they get too good for the Wyverns, they then start becoming loaned out, and I earn interest. I earn MFL on them to then fund more packs. I think that's probably the circle I'll go. They'll extend their stay. They'll become too good. Yeah, they'll become too good. I think I'll let the Wyverns sit whereabouts they just naturally finish at. I'm not gonna try and get Wyverns into Diamond. I've not got the funds for that, big man. Not got the funds for that.
All right. Then I think we have the engine. That's like a big one. Tactics testing. What are your plans? Gonna test a lot. Any first observations from that engine?
Well, for me, when a new engine comes out, the first thing I do is play quite a few games, just say like 10, 12 games against one opponent. It usually is someone like one of Taggard's teams, because it's a team which is very similar to mine. I'm going to sneeze here, hang on. It's a team similar to mine, if not slightly better. So I know it's going to be a competitive team and someone who I can expect to play against in the actual leagues. I will play loads of games against them and see if my current setup still kind of works, or will I have to change things? Because I'm very much a set and forget when it comes to tactics. I don't like changing them. I like to try and figure it out before the season starts. Emphasis on the try and figure it out before the season starts, and then just roll with it. I don't think I've got to do much changing. Last season, I had extremely compact and extremely high line. And this season's engine, I had to tweak those into the middle of the sliders, basically, because it just wasn't working. So far this time with testing, I found I can probably run the same setup, but I've not done enough testing.
Yeah.
But my way of testing is to, and I recommend to maybe new users who are getting used to engine testing, find a team who is very similar in terms of strength, or if not slightly better, and then just run loads against them constantly. Because if you just do random matches or different people, you may not get the best results.
Yeah, definitely you need at least 5 to have an indication, I think, against the same team.
Yeah.
But I like what you said before, like it sounds like kind of not like rocket science to just keep your same tactic and see if it works in a new engine. But I feel like a lot of people, they're like, oh, new engine, I gotta start from scratch. And now
no. See if what you currently have still works.
Yeah, exactly.
It might not be impacted much by it.
Yeah, in general, because they keep building. It's not like a totally... MFL also doesn't start from scratch with a new engine. No. So they're just tackling the things that were wrong. So probably indirect free kicks and those kind of things.
The fixing set pieces, is that going to affect what formation and what current tactics or how well they perform? No, it's just going to mean that people are going to score less from indirect free kicks. It's not going to have a massive impact on how my team sets up. But I will say, though, when in the streams we've watched the full 2D, you can definitely analyse games a lot better. And if you have the time, and I appreciate it's a lot of time sometimes to watch those games, but maybe if you get the chance, watch a couple of games in, majority of them are full 2D, because you'll really be able to pick up on they're playing really wide. How's my team play against width, for example? But everyone's, everyone's in the same boat. No one's got an advantage here in terms of experience with the new engine because we're all in the same boat with it.
Yeah, but it's definitely good to do a little run. I think just minimum 5 to 10 matches against one team and then see.
I do feel for the Diamond managers though, and some of the Plat managers who can't run friendlies between after. Obviously, there's no playoffs for Diamond, but they can't run friendlies because they're in the same competition as them with the new experimental engine. Yeah, so they have to run friendlies with a weaker side, which is then how do you test that? How do you test against a weaker side?
You have, I think, quite, or at DG used to have, but now still quite some strong teams, like an Amsterdam team for Dio, right? You can,
but you might not get them because of the Titans Cup. You can't use an experimental engine against them because of the Titans Cup.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. I think people like Road have been very vocal. Like, how can I test against someone?
Although you could argue, if it's like on a lower level and you can kind of copy that same tactic to that team. I think if you have 2 Iron Clubs or 2 Diamond teams.
Kind of. I think that's comparing oranges and apples a bit there. But maybe they can only friendly each other in what's going to be next season's engine. So it can't be this season. It can only be next season. But then you can still... it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Yeah, do your own testing, definitely. That's important.
Do your own testing.
Okay, and then maybe the final piece, progression, development center. Will you treat development center differently in season 2? Well, some guys are still in there, of course, but will you put more in there? Do you maybe regret people putting in there? Like what's your feeling now about it? Or
well, I put two young boys in there. One of them went from 46 to a 49. Ooh. And he's 16 years old. And then I put a 17-year-old goalkeeper, and he's 58 rated. And he's done bugger all in there. He's done absolutely nothing. Nothing in there. I think if I during the pack drops, or probably the pack drops, or if a bargain comes to the marketplace, 16-year-old 50 rated player for $3 pops up. Yeah, leftover MFL, chuck him in there. But something about players progressing on your team, right? You see the stats, it's nice. Those 2 players are locked up for 4 seasons. They've already done 25% of their jail time. They've still got a bit to go. And it's not like if they're behaving well, they can't get out early either, like in real life.
No,
they can't get loud. They can't get loud on early sentence or early finish of their sentence.
Yeah.
I think if you've got spare players, spare MFL, go for it. Obviously, some of the calendars will have development passes on it. I've got a 2-year common pass.
Yeah,
I'll probably use that. But
yeah, exactly.
I think it's fun to chuck really young, low-rated players in there and just watch them grow. I think that's fun. We've seen people that had like a +17, which is absolutely mental.
Yes. No, that's nuts. But yeah, that's the prime target for development center is just super young and super bad. I think that's like mainly. And if you can lock them for 4 seasons for almost no MFL and 120% XP, that is huge. But yeah, for most players, they can play, or they can at least get a 60%, which is like 1 season development center just being added to some squad, especially better ones. So yeah, for me, it's just kind of 57 and lower, super young ones, they all go there because they can never get playing time in ice. And then a bit above that, they can maybe go to ice for the super low ref share, which I call like free development center. There's some ice club that's kind of bad, and then they get them for free to just play there. Instead of paying, you don't earn, you don't pay, and they go there. So I think it worked so far. And yeah, I also got a development pass, I think, in the calendar, so I will use those. But anyone who can play or can get some, just normal XP from playing, they're not going to be sent there.
I've got 3 really quick questions for you. Really quick fire questions. Quick fire.
Yeah.
This season, what was your highest overall gain on a player?
+6, I think.
+6. Wow.
Yes.
I was +4. And then my second rapid fire question, what's the highest overall gain on a single stat that you've had on a player?
I think a +10.
Wow, man, I thought I was going to at least win some of these. Well, you've got more players than me, so you've got the
it's
probability
also
on your
unfair. I
side.
have like 350 players, so it's like
You've got like eight times more players than me.
There's a way bigger chance I have something, but I think it is a +10 also on that +6 guy. Yeah, he got +10 defense. So that is definitely the winner. And he is in the development center for 4 seasons.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he is still there for 3 more seasons, but curious what's going to help. And then +5 on this Polish guy I shared before on Twitter. He went from a 71 to a 76 in ice, and he got +8 defense. So that's also huge.
My ice is +7, which is it's +7 defense on one of my overall +4 guys, but he got +7 defense as a CDM, which is very nice. So that's a really nice stat to increase. And my final question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do I word this? On a scale of 1 to 10, would you recommend people, 1 being would not recommend and 10 being you would recommend, would you recommend people to do single year development centres? 60% progression, 1. Yeah, I think it's the same answer.
No,
it seems doesn't make sense, does it?
You already get the 50 from just chucking them on a team.
Yeah.
And then play them in like maybe 1 or 2 cup matches when you're already out or you're already qualified. And maybe they even get a 55 or a 60. So, or give them to ice clubs for 0% ref share. So, yes, I wouldn't recommend that.
I think the only reason you do it is if you have for commons, if you have a pass for it. Because some people have a single year dev jail pass for uncommon and a rare, and it's like, well, when am I going to use that? I just feel like I'm just hampering progression because those players will get a team to play on, and most likely you can get a team on start on them as well. So those single year ones will just be like a bit of a kick in the face, especially if you get a rare one. You're like, wow, rare dev jail pass. But I don't really develop him much if I put him in there. So I want to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, 1 season is a bit awkward, but then maybe it's like a discount for like a 3 season or 4 season or so. Although I don't know, you can use it like that, but I just also just made a quick video about it where I'm pretty much saying this, like, just ideal for really young, low comments. For them it's ideal, and for others it really depends. But I think you can just use lower teams as de facto development centers, pretty much.
Right.
All right.
I think we've covered season 2 prep enough.
Only hashtag needed.
Only hashtag is needed.
Only hashtag.
So, listeners, to prove that you've been listening this far into this episode, we've got the hashtag for you. And the hashtag is #birthdayboys. #birthdayboys to celebrate all 66,000 birthdays happening in exactly the same second on Monday or Tuesday, probably Monday. You listen to this. Well, if you listen to it right now, you're celebrating their birthdays as well. So #birthdayboys, get it on the socials, get it in the Discord, let everyone know who the birthday boys are. If you're not already following or subscribed to our YouTube channel or any of that good stuff and listen to this, go do so. It greatly helps out the channel. Good luck in preparation for season 2. Hope you won your playoff matches. If you had one, or got promoted or champions, anything like that. We'll see you on Wednesday for the pack drop. Be there or be square, or forever have bad luck in season 2 matches. I'll tell Yax to code it in to the engine. If not, we'll see you this time next week for an episode of the When Dirtcast. Thank you for listening.